Greetings and salutations, comrades. Hope this finds you well. So, I don't know if y'all came across this. Well, I guess it was a series of tweets by Professor Richard Wolff, the Marxist economist. Usually, most issues he's pretty decent. He kind of has some, anti-USSR, rhetoric, and he's not good on everything, but usually, his takes are fairly decent. Um, but this particular take he has about how he thinks all of, or a large part, it seems like from this tweet, of these, labor strikes that are happening across the United States are due to the vaccine mandates, which, from my perspective, he's being very anti-Marx in his analysis, because again, Marxism is all about being objective, seeing the world for how it is and not how we think it is in our minds, or how it was in the past, or how we think it be in the future. It's a concrete analysis of the concrete conditions. It's scientific socialism, looking at things through a very rational and objective way. And it seems like in this case, Wolff is being very anti-Marx in his analysis, because all the evidence I've seen hasn't pointed to this at all, frankly. So this is his tweet I was referencing. It's not pro versus anti-vaccine. The issue is class struggle of employers dictates mandates become intolerable for employees. Record job quitting plus strikes plus refusals of mass vaccine mandates. Say yes. Opponents of mandates attract anti-vax right-wing recruiters, but there are important recruiting possibilities for the left too. Many employees resist mandates for reasons close to why so many are quitting jobs and striking against employers. Anti-mandate movements is not all equal right-wing or anti-vax. It's labor militancy. Component deserves interest and support. It's an important opportunity to fight the right and build the left. Again, but I think his just analysis here is just really off base. None of the things I've seen about why these workers in these various industries, whether it's, healthcare, people working on Hollywood, the IATSE, healthcare workers, Kellogg's workers, etc. None of the shit I've seen has anything to do with mask mandates or vaccine mandates. It all has to do with horrible working conditions. Let me know. Show me some evidence if you've seen otherwise. I'll show you a couple stories here. But everything I've come across about why workers are striking right now, why they aren't going back to the workforce, has very little, if anything, to do with vaccine mandates or mask mandates, and everything to do with horrible working conditions, wages not keeping up with the cost of living, employers trying to, curtail retirement benefits, pension, trying to cut healthcare, trying to make people work more, not giving people enough time off. That's the type of shit why people across these industries are striking, not due to vaccine. Oh, what is a VASC mandate? So here we go. Kaiser. Again, that's healthcare. 24,000 Kaiser Permanente healthcare workers authorized strike over pay working conditions. This was from October 11th, so a couple weeks back. Again, this 24,000 nurses and other healthcare workers at Kaiser authorized a strike. The unions announced Monday, threatening to walk out over pay and working conditions. Again, nothing about mandates, and these people would have had to get the shot because they work in healthcare, right? While the coronavirus pandemic continues to strain hospitals and clinics. As they press Kaiser, look, see, again, nothing to do with mandates. As they press Kaiser to scrap its plan for a two-tiered wage and benefit system, which would pay newer employees. This is the same shit they're fighting at Kellogg, actually. Less than more tenured colleagues and offer them fewer health protections. They also want 4% raises for the next 3 years, a commitment to hire more nurses to relieve staffing shortages. Another 7,400 Kaiser employee members of United Steelworkers Local 7600 also voted to walk out. More than 50,000 Kaiser workers nationwide are making similar demands, and contracts that will soon expire. And union leaders say more strike authorization drives can materialize in Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Maryland, Virginia, Washington State, and D.C. 96%. Okay, again, see, the looming impasse, another example. In recent weeks, the labor movement's increasingly hardened stance in contract negotiations. This was talking about Hollywood's production workers voted to authorize a strike early October. Kellogg's. Let's see. Again, nothing whatsoever to do with mandates. Okay. Okay, there's one example. Show you another one. Share screen. This is talking about lots of people say they'll quit over vaccine mandates, but research shows few do, but the ones that do are highlighted in the media, right? And again, generally I am against the vaccine mandates, perhaps in certain fields like healthcare. Maybe it would make sense because you are coming into contact with people who may already be immune compromised, and the vaccine doesn't completely prevent transmission of COVID-19, but it does decrease the risk of that happening, right? Few of them actually quit. Researchers looked at companies that have vaccine mandates in place and saw that so far only a fraction of workers leave their jobs when it comes down to it. In other words, vaccine mandates are unlikely to result in a wave of resignations, but they're likely to lead to a boost in vaccination rates. So here's one example. You can look at other ones. Houston Methodist Hospital, for example, required. Oh shit! Am I not sharing my screen? God damn it! So you think I was just bullshitting? Okay, here we go. This is the article. Houston Methodist Hospital, for example, required its 25,000 workers to get a vaccine by June 7th. Before the mandate, about 15% of employees were unvaccinated. By mid-June, that percentage dropped to 3% and hit 2% by late July. A total of 153 workers were fired or resigned, while another 285 were granted medical or religious exemptions, and 332 were allowed to defer it. So that's less than 1,000. So yeah, like 2% out of 25,000, right? So again, there's just no evidence to support what Richard Wolff is claiming in that quote. He just seems to be pulling it out of thin air. And again, he's not looking at the, objective material conditions. So he's being very, anti-Marxist in his approach, right? Here we go. New York. Fuck you, cat article. Cat's cool though. Hospital workers strike over staffing shortages in upstate New York. Nearly 2,000 nurses and other hospital workers at Mercy Hospital staff in Buffalo, New York, walked off the job on Friday, saying an ongoing staffing crisis make it impossible to provide patients with adequate care. Poor working conditions in the hospital are jeopardizing patient safety, a problem worsened by the recent surge in COVID cases fueled by the Delta variant. Okay. Of course, the fucking president of the hospital is talking shit, right? Let's see. Nearby Worcester, Massachusetts, nearly 7 months long strike over staffing and patient care conditions continue at St. Vincent Hospital with more than 500 workers walking picket lines. Okay, again, nothing there. Let's look at, I think I pulled up an article about why Kellogg's workers are striking. I thought I had one. Oh, okay, here we go. Why are Kellogg's workers striking? Employee, okay. Issues here about the future of the working person in America. Here at Kelloggs, about reducing the hourly wage rate. It's about cutting benefits, pension, retirement, and healthcare. It's essential for any working person in America and working person in the world. Okay, again, nothing to do with mask mandates, vaccine mandates, etc. Benefits and wages. mean, they're ridiculous. Ticket someone's paying, cutting it by $13 an hour. There's no way to actually ever maximize pay, nowhere to retire with insurance or healthcare, pension plans, and just to work every day, 7 days a week, 12, 16 hours a day, never having anything to show for it at the end of your career. Again, nothing whatsoever to do with vaccine mandates or mask mandates. Um, let's see. Um, cover vacancies and yeah. We had close to 100 people out either with COVID or from COVID-19 protocols, so that increased the overtime we're working. We did not shut down the plant. We continued providing cereal to the nation. Okay, again, everything that I've seen of why workers are on strike right now, why people aren't going back into the workforce. Again, I saw that Reuters article that showed, I believe it was the month of August, was the most people that had quit their jobs, I think, since like the late 1980s, something like that. All the shit I've seen has the vast majority has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with vaccine mandates or mask mandates. And, Richard Wolff was definitely getting called out in the comments by some people I don't always, you know, agree with their political analysis, trivializing the whole array of suffering and oppression that U.S. workers experience under capitalism as if it's irrelevant to job quitting and strikes, just so you can point to them as proof of mass worker opposition to health and safety mandates. Incredible on so many levels. Carl Beiser. I mean, David Dole, by this logic, again, he's a shit lib, but he makes a good point. By this logic, you're saying that employers who create the environment for a deadly virus to spread by not having mandates actually pro-worker, when the workers be quitting and have quit over unsafe working conditions due to the spread of COVID. Trash take. I agree. Um, so again, Richard Wolff is pretty decent, but again, when especially when Marxists make you know horrible claims like this that aren't actually supported by the objective reality, by the material conditions on the ground, by actually what's happening, we need to be able to engage in criticism and self-criticism. And I hope Richard Wolff takes some of this criticism he's been getting for this shitty take into account and realize that no, this is way off base. This has absolutely nothing to do with the labor strikes around the U.S. Has nothing to do with people not or people quitting their jobs. Largely a very very small percent are due to the vaccine mandates. So do better, Richard Wolff. We know you're capable of it, right? Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades on Patreon supporting my channel's content, my partner, and Independent Left News. Definitely check Independent Left News out. Peace. Much love.